Hey guys, it's Walt. Okay, we're live with our webinar number 2 for the Zapable purchase. We're just, I've gone live maybe 5 minutes early here, so if you're here and watching, what I'll invite you to do is right beneath this video is a couple of links for you. The first is if you've got a Google account, if you've got a Gmail or a Google account, you can click on the link that says join me live on this call. I'd love to chat to you, to talk to you live about how you're going with Zapable, with your business, where you're up to. So you can join me in a conversation, and that's the first part there. So underneath this video on the left-hand side as you're looking at it is the link there where you can join me live. The second one is down the bottom right-hand corner of the screen is a little red chat box that says chat with us, and you can drop your name and email there, so I'll be able to see your chats coming in. And we'll be able to answer any questions for you live. There's a 30-second delay between what I say and what you hear. So if you're here early and you're joining us on the call, fantastic to have you with us. Just drop in the details there. If you want to join me live and have a conversation, we can ask questions and do all that kind of stuff. Or you can simply just drop in a chat box and say hi. Meantime, I'm going to put a holding screen up and maybe see even if we can get some music playing there as well. And we will be able to jump in and see how that's working. So let me just have a bit of a quick look here. All right, so we should be good to go. Done and done. All right, guys. So let me just drop that opening slide on the window there. I'm not going to have it as a slideshow, but I will just pop that up there so that we are ready to go. And let me see if I can drop something in here as well. We're just going to wait for a few minutes as we kick off.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, just bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out, and I'll lay your ship bare. See how you with every move don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, and it's bringing me out the dark. The scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have had it all.
Who's on with me? We've got, who's there? I think it's Steve. Hello, mate. How are you going? You can unmute for a second. We can have a chat.
How you going today?
Yeah, good, buddy. How are you?
Good. I'm just doing a bit of research here. I spoke to Chris from Zapable, and he said that I should be looking up mobile app stats. I'll get you back on live again, and put them on your sales page as a good good point. So
that's a great idea. I mean, anything that helps build trust and show people why they should be using apps is a good thing, mate. That's definitely a great tip from Chris.
Actually, you've got a fairly bad echo there. Echo.
Have I?
Yeah.
Let's see what I can do.
Actually, I'm there too. Oh,
listen, I've got Ken and Diane, and you might have to mute your speakers or turn your speakers down a little bit, mate, so it doesn't reverb back through.
I've got my speakers off.
Have you? Okay. It might be from my end. This is a new setup for me, so we'll see how we go. If worst case scenario, I'll switch my audio device. Guys, give me. We've got a few people on. We've got Ken, Eric, Diane, Jerry, Corinne, Brett. Good to see you guys. If you're copying an echo, can you let me know? Just come back to me and tell me what we've got there. That would be good. Steve, we've still got a bad reverb there. If so, I'll try and switch mics. It might not be so good, but
yeah, I've just unmuted. I had myself unmuted there, and I'm still getting an echo from you while I'm muted. So it can't be my speakers.
All right, we'll get it might be my speaker. This brand new computer yesterday, so I'm still setting everything up. I've got the Yeti mic plugged in, but I might change that back to the built-in one. Let's see what we can.
Actually, you've got a fairly bad echo there.
Mate, is that better, Steve? Now we've got that there.
Yeah, there's no echo now.
Tony said it sounds fine.
Sounds good.
Have you got me at all?
Yeah, I've got you perfect.
Okay, cool. Sound is okay. Everybody's saying it sounds good, so we'll see how we go. All right, guys, we've got a couple of people on. It's great to see you. We've got Tony, Thomas, Brett, Corinne, Jerry, as we said, Ken, Eric, and Diane. Guys, it's great to see you. I'll take this off screen share for a second so we can say good day. If you were on earlier or you were one of the early ones, I mentioned there's two links beneath this recording. There's a link that says join me live, like Steve has done. That's on the left. If you've got a Google account or a Gmail email address, you can just click on that link and join me, have a conversation. There's only room for 9 people. I think last week we had 4 or 5 people that wanted to jump on and have a conversation. If that's you, if you want to be part of the call this morning, please jump on in. I'd love to chat to you about where you're up to, what you need, how's your business looking, not just with Zapable, but anything else that we want to talk about there as well. So that's the first one. That's the link that says join me live on this call. Now, if you're watching this as a replay, that won't work, obviously, because the call will only be live while we're on live. That makes sense. I had a couple of angry chat messages from people that were copying the replay last week saying they clicked on the link and when it took them to a blank page, they lost the call. So please don't do that. If you're watching the replay, you can't join me live. That's the point of being on. So any of the team that we've got there, if you want to join me live, you are more than welcome to. I'd love to chat to you about your business and where we're going. The other link is down the bottom right-hand corner. We've got quite a few people already that have registered to ask us questions. That's the way to do it. All you need to do is literally just drop your name and email there. That opens up the chat functionality, even if you've got nothing that you want to ask straight away. Make sure you register, and that way we can get you asking questions as the time passes. So if you want to ask something, you'll be then registered and ready to go. Now, as I mentioned, I am working on a new computer today, so I am still ironing out the kinks. If any of you have ever got yourself a new machine, you'll know that it takes ages to get set up. So it was a bit of a late night last night, making sure I had all the different components ready to go. But if I lose you, stay on the call. I'll actually will make a note of the URL. And that's a tip, actually. I do a lot of Hangouts, as you guys know, with our Hangout plugin and that kind of stuff. If you're ever doing a Hangout, just copy and paste the URL into a text file. That way, if for some reason you drop out, you've got 15 minutes to get back to the call. So if you guys are watching me and I drop out, which I'm going to try not to do, obviously, just give me about a few seconds and I'll see if I can jump back on with you. Okay, so if you're watching, welcome. We're going to kick into this fairly soon. What I really need from you guys, I've got, I don't know, 10, 15 slides, something like that, to go through with you. Yep, something like that. And then I really want to make sure that we cover this off in the best way possible for you. So let me know what you need. Where are you up to? Drop this in the chat box. Ask specific questions. I've got some questions that I'll cover off from Jerry. Is Jerry on with us? Hi, Jerry. I've got your question here, so we'll go through that. Jerry's question is to do with tech and how much hardware is needed, and it's a really valid question. So I'll go through that. I've got Diane's question. Hi, Diane. I can see you've registered there as well. That's great. Talking about budgets, etc. I've got Jason. Is Jason on with us? I can't see Jason registered. You're there. Jump on and make sure that you've registered because you've got a good question there as well. Stephen obviously has joined us on the call talking about lead generation, so we'll go through that. And somebody else asking about finding buyers. Who's that? Tony. If Tony's on as well. So Tony, I can see you registered there, mate. I've got your question there as well. We'll go through those. So, but guys, this is your time. I'm making myself available to you. As I mentioned on the first webinar, if you didn't catch the replay of the first one, it's on the same bonus page link. So I'll see if I can put that up on the screen later. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but I'll see if I can. It's on the same bonus page link. The link for the webinar is the same link as the replay, and that's the same as this week. Whatever we cover will be within 5 minutes, the replay will be up and running, and that's, again, one of the benefits of Hangouts. Because it is instantly recorded, there's no kind of tech issues with that. So keep the links and watch the replay. As I mentioned on last week's call, this is not the end for me. This is the beginning for Zapable, for my business as far as apps go, and our interaction together. If there's things that you want to know, there's no limit on the time. You can ask me. What do you think of this? How do I feel about that? Have I got any tips or advice? Really, my 100% intention is to make sure that this is a profitable exercise for you guys, something that you can build as an ongoing business. So there's no limit on that. You can ask me anytime. If we get lots of people asking, similar questions or needs for more Hangouts or more webinars, more than happy to do it. I love this stuff and I love getting into the nuts and bolts of it. So more than happy to do that. But today, if there's things specifically that you want to cover, then let's make sure we go through that together. So let me do a quick screen share here. I've got a couple of things to cover off. So I'm going to recap. Last week I spent a lot of time talking about, hey Brett, great to see you. Thanks for coming on board, mate. I talked a lot about mindset, and I hope you guys got a lot out of that. We talked about overcoming a lot of fear and that kind of stuff, and I am going to cover that again because a couple of the questions I've got during the week do talk about that. But I'm also going to talk again about templates, how and why we use them, that kind of stuff. Brett, good to see you, mate. The same hat on as last week. Fantastic to see you, brother. We've got so sales and lead generation, and we did talk about that a little bit last week. We're going to go into more depth there and how we can do it. I've got a big in caps there, testimonials, and I'll save that specifically for when we get to that point. I've got a point there called doing it all, a plan, dynamic versus static, flexibility, and ongoing income. So these are the things that I've got sort of booked in there to cover off with you guys. If there are other bits and pieces that you'd like to cover, please let me know. So Brett's joined us. Hello, mate. Great to see you. How's the week been?
Doing great. Actually, right before the last webinar, I'd just gotten back from a trip, so I'm just kind of catching back up with everything. But you're still in
holiday mode, or was it a working place?
No, it was definitely a holiday trip.
It was a holiday trip. Very cool. Very cool. And how's your salon approaching going, mate?
I'm gonna get the certificates this week, so.
Nice. Nice. That's actually that's not a bad place to start. Start on our call today, because one of the questions, and from Jerry, actually asked about getting the certificates and about the techniques for doing that. So, but there's a really interesting comment, and Jerry, I hope you don't mind me going through this in detail, because there's a really big comment here at the bottom. So Jerry asks about using a Mac computer and how much need or necessity is there for that. But then Jerry's question says, this is a big enough issue for me that it's held me back from even developing my first app. And I'm concerned that ultimately I'll give up if I don't make some progress with this, and I don't want to give up, but I'll need to cover the $39 each month by making money with it, or else what's the sense of doing it? And Jerry, you're exactly right. So maybe before we get into templates and the, I guess the theory and the philosophy of what we're going to be talking about today, as well as the different bits and pieces in detail, let's cover that off. What's really interesting, Brett just said, I'll be getting the certificates this week. Okay, now what are the certificates? Certificates are, I guess, validation from Apple specifically that you are a real person, that you are able to upload apps to the App Store. Basically what it does is it just puts a few levels of security in place to make sure that anybody can't just come along and upload a file full of viruses or whatever into the App Store. Okay, and it's a tech process. I've gone through it step by step. I've got the certificates, but it's a technical process, and it's a bit scary. But if you joined me on the call last week, or if you've watched the replay, what I was really impressed with both Steve and with Brett is that the need for those certificates, or the stumbling block, if you like, of those certificates shouldn't stop you from moving forward, because you can create everything in the lead up. What do I mean? Steve had an amazing education app demo sales page done up, and has since sent me through a salon one in the same sort of format and template. Beautiful. That's done. There's a fair bit of work that was involved in putting those together. There's a lot of steps. And on the bonus page, I talk about setting up those sales pages. Now, again, I mentioned on the call last week, I did a bad job of that, and I'll redo that training because I was kind of rushing through how to set up a page. But don't forget that there's also facilities out there like Fiverr or Elance or Freelancer where you can do up a rough looking template and then give it across and say, make this look good, and for 10 or 20 bucks somebody will zazz it up for you and make it look amazing. So, but that's something that you can do without the need for getting the certificates in place. What else can you do? You can completely build the structure of the demo app before you get the certificates. Okay, you can even make your first sale before you get the certificates. Okay, you can go into Zapable and you can drop all the modules in, so you can drop in the website links and the call buttons and the RSS feeds and the pictures and whatever else you wanted to add there. You can do that without the certificates, all right? So don't let that stop you. Now, as far as the cost goes, when we're looking at $39 a month, and Jerry, I understand what you're saying. You know, if we can't cover that cost, what's the point, right? Think of it instead as instead of thinking of it as $39 a month, think of it as I'm trying to do the maths in my head, but think of it as $400 a year. Okay, think of it as $400 a year, because your first app or second app can sell for $500 in a finger snap. All right. So what you're basically looking at is it's $400 for the year. I've got 12 months, or $500 for the year. I've got 12 months to make 2 sales. Okay, all that Zapable's done is put that on a payment plan for you, so it's $39 a month. Because if you're looking at it as $39 a month, trust me, if you are starting to get cold feet at day 27, day 28, you're going to hit up for a refund. Okay, you're gonna pull out of possibly what's going to be a 6-figure business for you. All right, and that is just the wrong way to go. If you look at it as a 12-month project and say, okay, I've got $39 a month, it's spread out over 12 months. Honestly, if you haven't made any sales within the first 6 or 8 months, then cancel it. But if you think of it as a long-term project, not as a 30-day project, then the certificates aren't going to scare you. Okay. Now, as far as the certificates, Jerry specifically said, I know that people have offered to do the certificates for us. Isn't that a security risk? How would I keep my account with Apple secure if someone else is the only person able to log on to it? It's a great question, and let me outline. I did the certificates, and I didn't have a Mac. All right. Here's the kicker: you need a Mac. Okay. I went to my neighbour's house, who I knew had one. Now, I'm on a Mac today because I've got a new computer, because I've gone, this is something that I'm committed to, and so I've gone and get it. But, Steve, I think it was yourself, or maybe it was one of the other guys we had on last week. They talked about going and getting a second-hand one. Now, again, I know that that's an investment, okay? But reality speaks. So let's have a look at this. I did everything on my neighbor's computer. I set up. It took me. I told my neighbor it was going to take me 15 minutes. It took me about 40. And he was good enough to shout me a cup of tea while I was there as well. So that was kind of cool. But what do you need to do to get a certificate? And in steps. There's training on it. So please go through the training. That's how I learned. I went through the training. But let me outline it in steps for you if I can. You need to be on a Mac. You need to open something up called Keychain. You need to click on something called certificates. Sorry, let me go back a step. You need to go to developer.apple.com and log in with your Apple ID. If you don't have an Apple ID, it's free. So go to developer.apple.com and create for yourself a developer account. Okay. Then you need to go to a Mac computer. You need to click on go to Keychain. You need to click on create a certificate. You then need to upload the certificate to the Developer Center. Then you need to click on I think you need to click on export something else and upload that to the certificate center. Then you need to, there's four different things that you need to create and export out. Now I saved them into Dropbox. I saved all the things I needed to export in Dropbox. Then when I came back home, which is like, I don't know, can you see where I'm pointing? The camera's pretty stationary, but I'm pointing over there because my neighbor's house is over there. It was 20 steps. So I came back from my neighbor's house to my Windows machine, opened up Dropbox, my certificates were there, and I uploaded them to Apple. Okay? So, yes, you do need access to a Mac in order to do it. Now, here's something that's a whacked out idea. Go to the Apple Store. They love having you. All right? But the reality is, and Jerry asked the question. Jerry said, this has been as big a stumbling block for me and it stopped me moving forward. Jerry, don't let it stop you moving forward. And I say that to everybody. You can do so much before you're needed to do that. You can go and get your first deals before you need to do the certificate steps. You can, if you've got a first deal in your hand and it's $500 or the first 2 deals or whatever, what if, let's say for an example, what if you got yourself your first deal, and let's keep the numbers even, and let's say you've said to somebody, I'll build you an app, it's going to be $500, you've got the permission to go ahead and they've paid you a deposit, and they say to you, how long is it going to take? You say, I'll have it back to you within 30 days. Okay? Now, you and I, everybody on this call, we all know that you could churn out that app in 30 minutes if you've got the template right. So why am I saying 30 days? Because, check my thinking, it gives you time to get everything in place. Like, for example, another deal. Like, for example, another deal and another deal and another deal. What if you had 4 or 5 $500, now that's cheap by the way, what if you had 4 or 5 $500 app deals, each with $100 deposit and promise to deliver in 30 days? Okay. Now you've got $500 cash, you've got a promise of $2,500 still to come. Okay, sorry, $500 cash and another $2,000 still to come. All right, and now you've got 30 days to deliver 4 or 5 apps, and you've got to get hold of a Mac. Okay, with $500 cash in your pocket, do you think you could get a Mac for a day? Okay, do you think you know somebody who's got one? Do you think you could hire one? Do you think you could get a second-hand one? All right, now again, guys, I understand financial hardship. I've been there and I know. All right, but if you've got real cash in your hand and you can say to somebody, I'll deliver the app for you in 30 days, all right, you've got 30 days to solve the problem. Now the problem can be solved as simply as going to your mate's place, your neighbor's house, your friend, your cousin, somebody who's got a Mac. You need probably 30 minutes for the first time you do it, and then you need 20 minutes per app. So just to do the next parts of the certificate, and again that's all covered in the training. So look at the time there. All right, you could get this done in, let's say, 2 hours, 3 hours maximum, sitting in front of a Mac computer. Okay, you've got all the tutorials, they're all online. You can watch them before you go. You can watch them again when you're at the Mac Center if you need to. You can have them on your iPhone or your phone and be watching the tutorials as you're doing it. But let's say you need 3 hours with a Mac sometime in the next 30 days. Don't let what looks like an insurmountable problem stop you going into business. Guys, does that make sense? I'm looking for a bit of feedback here. So everybody listening that's not registered to join me live on the call, you guys will hear me ask this question and be able to respond in 30 seconds. Drop in the chat box. Is that a fair thing that I'm telling you?
Can I say something?
Is that a fair comment that I've made?
Am I unmuted?
You are, mate. I've got you loud and clear.
I've spoken to Chris over this at Zapable, and what he's doing for me is, as I said, I've got everything set up. I'm about to upload my first app to Google Play to show as a demo. When I get my first sale, I'll then be forwarding Chris. I'd say, look, I've got the sale. I'll build the app, and he will then do the certificate for me.
Perfect.
I'm quite happy to trust them at Zapable to do my certificates for me for the first few apps.
Do you know what?
And then when I earn money,
of all of the people, mate, of all of the people, they are the best people to trust. Why? Because
I trust them because if they rip us off, we all leave them.
exactly, mate. They have a vested interest in your success. That is a fantastic opportunity from the owner of Zapable, who has said publicly, let me do it for you. All right? So, Jerry, there's no reason for this to stop you building a huge and successful business. Don't let it be a problem. It's 3 hours access, or it's going to the guys at Zapable the way Steve's done. Do everything you need to do in between times. What do you think, Brett? Is that a fair request? I saw you shake your head there, mate. I was wondering what was the shake about?
Absolutely, yeah. I was just agreeing with both of you. I think I had read where they would do those certificates also. I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah.
I could be mistaken. So
now, guys, so that can be a temporary state of affairs. Steve said for the first few apps. I guarantee you that if you're getting deals 1 a week, 2 a week, if you start hammering this through, if you're starting to bring in $1,000 per app deal, $2,000 per app deal, and you're getting a few of these a month, I guarantee it won't be long before you buy a Mac. All right?
Just desktop.
Just to solve the issue. But don't let what seems like an insurmountable problem become the reason that you drop this out. The first thing to talk about, Jerry specifically, the first thing to talk about is you've got to look at this as a 12-month thing minimum. Okay, if you're going 30 days to 30 days, you don't have time. Okay, we're about, I don't know, 20-something days now since the close of the Zapable launch, which means that for a lot of us, we've already been in for 20-something days, 24, 25 days. All right, if you're thinking about the $39, on day 28, you're going to cancel it. All right, and you would have lost the opportunity. Now, if you think of it more like a 12-month stint, and you say, I bought a $400 program, and Zapable were good enough to let me pay that off over a year. You've got 12 months to get one deal, all right? You've got 12 months to get one deal. Now, if you go out and chase it, I guarantee you will get one within 12 months, all right? Now, my comment there is if you go out and chase it. If you want to sit at home on the beanbag watching TV and come to me in 12 months and say, I didn't get one and you guaranteed it, then I'm going to tell you that you didn't chase it, okay? Because if you go and speak to business owners like I have in this last week, like Steve is doing, like Brett is doing, and like a lot of other successful people are doing here, if you go and speak to business owners, you will have that deal in 12 months. But Jerry, you've got to look at it like a 12-month project. Now, Jerry's online. Drop me a note in the chat, Jerry, and let me know that that makes sense. Okay, because you've got to look at this as a 12-month thing. You've bought Zapable for 12 months. You've just got the payment spread out. You've got 12 months to go and get one deal, and you're completely paid for. Access to a Mac is not a problem. The guys at Zapable have said that they will do the uploads for you. That you just cannot beat that. Okay, they have a vested interest in your success. They want to make sure that you have all the tools to succeed. You cannot beat that offer. All right, so there is no reason that technology should stop you from doing this. Okay, as I said, get access to a Mac, and if you've got the first couple of app deals signed off and done, you've got the clients coming on board, tell them that you'll deliver it in 30 days. That is a reasonable amount of time. Okay, they don't need to know that Zapable is an instant builder where you could have it turned out. If you can deliver a quality product in 30 days, that is a decent and reasonable amount of time. Okay, so that gives you 30 days to then get access to a Mac for the 3 hours that you need. Okay, and that'll put cash in your pocket to reassure you as well. Okay, so guys, I hope that's covered off Jerry's question there. All right, I might just I'll stay on these questions just for a second. Oh, actually, it's a good segue. Diane's asked the question about budgets. Jerry, I'm still waiting for you to tell me that you hear me loud and clear. I think Jerry's watching this and has gone off to get a coffee, because otherwise he would have dropped something in the chat box there. We'll see. Again, guys, if you've joined us, there's I don't know how many people on the call, and only 7 or 8 people registered in the chat box. 2 things: if you want to join us live, have a conversation with me, ask me anything you like. Click on the link underneath this that says join me on this call live. If you're watching the replay, that won't work, so only if you're here now watching. And in the bottom right hand corner is the chat box. Drop in your name and email so that I can see if you've got any questions. Okay, so Diane asked me, if somebody's interested and now I want to know their budget for marketing on average. On average they spend whatever. I don't want to give them a price of the app up front because I think it turns a lot of people off. So how do you suggest to present this? If they like my demo app and they say how much, I hate to say $1,500 right off the bat, since it may be a lot more work involved, and I think if you price too low, they think it's not worth it. You're exactly right, Diane. I'll cover that in a second. Does pricing mean a lot? What do you think? What if you ask them their budget to work with and they won't tell you? And they just keep asking how much is the app. This is a very big danger flag for me. Okay, so I'll come back to it in a second. And last question, Diane asks, in the pricing, should I include for both the Android and Apple, or should I do them separately, since the Apple submittal will be more work and I would have to outsource it? You don't, but let me cover that up. So let me come back to the big red flag. What if you ask them their budget to work with and they won't tell you, okay, and they just keep asking how much is the app? Okay. Now, I think if you caught me on my first webinar, my background is in corporate sales. Okay. If you are in the situation where you ask them what their budget is and they won't tell you, then you don't have trust with that client. Okay. There's a technique that I've used in the past. Okay. I call it the up to technique. So I'll give you the example, and I'll tell you how this technique came to pass, and then I'll tell you not to use it. Okay, so I'm going to give it to you so you know it, Diane, and then I'm going to tell you not to use it, all right? Because you should not be in this situation. Okay, but here's the technique. So I'm talking to a client. I'm saying hi to them. And Troy's just joined us. Good to see you, mate. Thanks for coming on board. I'm talking to the client, and I say, so what sort of budget have you got to work with? And they go vague. They go something like, oh, it depends. We've talked about it, but we haven't said a figure. All right? They give you some vague answer. If you need to know the budget, okay, this is the up to technique. I will say something ridiculous, and I'll say, so what are we talking? Is it up to 50 grand? Okay. Oh no, it's not 50 grand. Oh, what are we up to 10? No, it's not up to 10. And you keep coming down until you get a reasonable response. Are we up to 5? No, it's not 5,000. Well, what are we talking? Is it 2 grand? Well, somewhere around that money. Bang. Okay. Now I know the budget. I'm at 2 grand. But you need to go up high and work your way down. Okay. Now that's what I call the up to technique. So if you really need the budget, okay, if you really need the budget to feel comfortable about what you're presenting, then you can use that technique. Is it up to 10 grand, Jerry? Well, no, I hadn't thought about 10,000. Oh, okay. Well, what are we talking? Is it up to 5? Well, maybe that's somewhere around the money. Okay, well, good. We've got 5 grand to spend. All right. But let me tell you now why not to use that technique. If you're at loggerheads with a client, if you're battling that client, there's no reason you should be there. If they ask you how much the app is, have an answer. If you're not prepared to give them a definitive price, okay, give them a range. Okay, so we say, well, basic apps start from $500. They go up all the way to $5,000 depending on the complexity. Let's talk about what you need. Okay, don't ever, and again, this is from a sales background, don't ever refuse to give a client an answer and never justify the answer. So what do I mean by those 2 things? Don't ever refuse to give the client an answer. First and foremost, if you dodge an answer, you are dodgy. Does that make sense? If you dodge an answer, you are dodgy. All right? The most important thing in sales is trust. Okay? And you can gain trust by asking questions. What did you have in mind? What sort of things did you want it to do? What's important to you? Okay? And shut up and let them tell you. They'll sell themselves into it. Okay? But if you refuse to give an answer or you dodge around an answer, you are dodgy. That's why they call it dodging. All right? If somebody asks you a question about price, have an answer prepared. Okay? If you're not prepared to say it's going to be X or it's going to be Y, if you're not secure in what you're going to deliver. And that's what the templates should give you, by the way. The templates should give you security of workload and deliverability. Okay, so you can say the education app template takes me 35 minutes to customize it, 30 minutes to do the graphics, and I'm going to charge $1,500 for it. When somebody in an education field says how much is it, you can say an app with all of these features is $1,500. Do you want to go ahead? Okay, but if you're not comfortable with delivering a price, first of all, it means that you're not comfortable with the product. But if you need to deliver a price, deliver a range. Okay, so Diane, you would say something along the lines of, look, we have different levels of apps depending on the complexity that you want. That's true, isn't it? That's fair. The apps go anywhere from $500 up to $5,000, but what's more important to you, Mr. Client, but what's more important to me, Mr. Client, is finding out what you need and what you want. Okay? In a sales environment, this is going to sound really funny to you guys. I used to practice my lines. Yeah, I used to practice my lines. When I got serious about saying, I've been in a selling job straight out of school. I didn't have the marks to get into anything else. I was in a selling job and I hated it because I didn't want to see myself as a salesman, and I got out of that industry quickly. I went into hospitality and I rose to management, all that kind of stuff. And then the company I was worked for shut down, and I got back into sales, and it was at this point that I decided to make this my career. I got plugged into some good stuff. I got plugged into Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy, and I decided that this was going to be my career. I could really, make a run of it. And one of the things that I listened to, the guy, I think it was Brian Tracy, he said, "Who is the highest paid people in the world?" And because I thought it was a trick question, I said, salespeople. And he went, "No, you idiot. It's actors. All right? Nobody else gets $20 million to turn up on set. Actors. Why do actors get paid so much when all they have to do is remember the line? No. Actors don't get paid to remember the line. Actors get paid to deliver the line in such a way that you feel that they feel it. Okay? When Jack Nicholson stood in the courtroom and said, "You can't handle the truth," he was living that moment. He wasn't delivering a line. Okay? And I use that because it's a known line. So practice your lines, because you need to be able to deliver them in such a way that you feel it. So when I say to a client, well, apps are from between $500 up to $5,000, but what's more important, Mr. Client, is that I find out what you need. If you practice that until you can deliver it with empathy and feeling, then you will deliver it with empathy and feeling, and you'll achieve the end result. Okay? I'm looking on my phone at the moment. I've forgotten the title, which is bad. I am reading a book, Kindle. I am reading The Success System That Never Fails. And it's by W. Clement Stone. The Success System That Never Fails. What he talks about in that book, as he's built multi-hundreds of millions of dollars insurance company and trained salespeople all over the world, what he talks about in that book is knowing the answers, knowing the way to respond to a client's question in every situation so well that it becomes rote, okay? That it becomes so natural to deliver that line that you are delivering it with feeling, but you've got to know the answers. If you go into a sales call and you don't know how to respond to the question of how much is the app, then you will trip up on it, okay? You need to be able to deliver that, and that question will come, guys, all right? So Diane, you asked me, does pricing mean a lot? Yes, it does, and it's more important on how you deliver the answer, okay? If you deliver the answer with feeling and with empathy, then it's no worries. If you believe that the service you're providing is worth $2,000 and you can believe that in your soul, then you will be able to deliver that without any questions. Okay? If you're uncomfortable with delivering that, then you need to be able to change the price or change what you deliver. Okay? Because you must be able to deliver it. Okay? Diane also asked, last question, in the pricing, should I include for both the Apple and Android? Yes. Without a question. I wouldn't even separate it. I might separate it in a sales presentation by saying something along the lines of submitting for Google, which is the Android devices, covers 70% of your market, but then with leaving 30% out, Putting the Google app together is around $1,000. Putting the Apple app together is around $1,500. But what I'm prepared to do for you, Mr. Customer, is combine them both at $2,000, and we'll set everything up for you and be done. Okay? That's how I might deliver that line. I would never separate it. Why? Because 99% of your customers don't care. They don't know, and they don't care. They just want everyone to have the app. If you separate it out, it makes it too hard. Deliver a service, and that is both. I might cost it separately, so I'm building the value in the proposition, but I would never ever deliver one without the other, because you're losing a big percentage of the market share anytime you do that, and that's not the right thing to do by a customer. There you go. So Diane, you had a couple of points there. How do I suggest this? I don't want to say $1,500 right off the bat. My answer is, why not? It's worth it all day, every day. But if you don't feel that what you're going to deliver is worth it, then you need to be comfortable with the level you are delivering. Does pricing mean a lot? Hell yeah, it does. But it's more important how you deliver it and the belief that you have. And if you absolutely must know their budget, you don't. If you absolutely must know their budget, use the up to technique. And yes, I would include both the Apple and the Android. So guys on the panel, Troy, Brett, Steve, what do you think? Is that a fair answer to Diane's question?
Absolutely. I did the kind of the separate but together. I said it's 1,000 each, but bundled together for 1,500.
Perfect. Awesome. I'm a buyer, straight up.
Straight
up. I said on that delivery, I'm a buyer. You know, it's $1,000 each, but bundled together, I'll do it for you for $1,500, and I'll have it done in 30 days. Man, I'm a buyer. When you deliver it like that, I believe it. I'm a buyer, straight up. Good job. Exactly. And guys, this is one of the benefits of being in the community like this, right? So I talked about resources last time, and I said about the forum. You know, the forum is such a valuable environment because you've got people who are fighting the same battles as you are, talking to each other, and you can build relationships there. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a software program called Ubot. Ubot allows you to build your own software. It's awesome. Drag, drop, click together. It's amazing. And I got involved with the Ubot forums when I first started it all that time ago. And the answers that I got from some of those guys was just amazing. If you can get involved with a forum, you can find answers to questions that you might not have otherwise found. So yeah, don't let that go without really looking at it. I'm just going to type an answer to Ken here. Ken, if you see this, can you respond? I'm just seeing in the chat, making sure that's coming through there. So Brett's delivery there was fantastic. Apple, Android, okay, they're $1,000 each, but for you, Mr. Customer, we're doing a bundle at $1,500. Okay, that's a great delivery. And again, practice it. If anybody that's on the call, if you are uncomfortable presenting to a client, my only thing to tell you is don't present to a client. Okay, present to the mirror, present to your webcam, present to your screen recording system, present to your video on your phone, okay, and present and see how you look, okay. One of the things that again, sales stuff, guys, and this is the hardest gig in the world apparently. Use my background here. I used to practice what I used to call the concrete stare. I used to practice the concrete stare. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I used to practice never, ever taking my eyes off the client's eyes. Ever. Now that's going a bit freaky if you're just concentrating and you never, ever give them space to breathe. That's a bit freaky. But I used to practice it to what I call the concrete stare, because I knew that in a sales presentation, at that critical moment when you're talking price and you're talking about going forward, you need to be able to lock eyes. Because if you lock eyes, subconsciously what they think is he's straight, he's above board. If you move your eyes, then automatically and again subconsciously you're seen as shifty. Okay, so when it comes to that critical point, dead straight in the eyes and just don't move. Mr. Customer, we do $1,000 each for Android and Apple. We're bundling them both for $1,500. Would you like to go ahead with it? And you just keep the gaze, all right? Concrete gaze. So if you're uncomfortable presenting to a client, present to someone else. Who's going to speak? Troy.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
man.
also, how are you doing tonight?
Good,
This
man.
morning,
Great. Good to see you.
What I have found that any time that I've tried to sell anything or present anything is the more excited that you are about your product, the more excited that they're going to get about your product. If you go in there and you go, yeah, I can do this, I can do that, here's the price, then they're going to be like, okay, they're going to have more questions for you. But as soon as you get in, then you say, look what I can do. This is what I did. I created, I don't know how good you guys can see this, but I created this in Photoshop.
Perfect.
Basically, I put the phone on there and stuff like that. So then there's a menu from just down the road. I took a picture of the phone, and I created this. So basically, I take this and it shows their business on it, and it just has information and there's a QR code if you want to download and test the app. And and if you want, you can mail this to them, you can drop it off to them, or anything like that. And if they have more questions for you, there's my phone number right on the bottom.
Fantastic, fantastic. And how to build excitement? They can feel that straight in, man. They can be there with you. They can see the end result. And you're exactly right, Troy. If you're excited about what you're presenting, and you should be, then they will feel that excitement too. I can't guarantee this, but I can almost guarantee it. I can almost guarantee that every single person you've spoken to has used an app in their life, and if they haven't, then you're in the wrong company. Walk outside and find somebody who has. You're trying to sell ice to the Eskimos, as they say. If you take an app idea into somebody, they've seen an app, and I can almost guarantee you that they've thought about getting one. Because every business owner has. Every business owner has said to themselves at one point in time, I need an app. I wish I could find somebody. I don't even know where to start. And that's where most people fall down, is that I don't even know where to start. So that's a fantastic presentation, man. And again, guys, that's a template. Because what Troy's done there is he's got a template and he's saved the imagery. The next time you want to present to a restaurant, Troy, I'm assuming you've got that saved as a PSD file. You've saved the template. Just drop in one logo and drop out one logo and drop in the next one, and you're good to go. You can produce that. You can produce that sales document over and over and over again. It's fantastic. I love to see it. Very cool. Hey, Rick, thanks for joining us, mate. I can see you there. It's awesome to have you on board. There we go. I think I've got some issues with my chat system, but we'll see. Rick, if you want to say hi, mate, drop off your mute and say g'day. If you're just turning up so you can ask me something later, you're more than welcome to do that too. I can see the mute's gone.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Just joining in. Thanks for this opportunity. Just keep on, and I'll just catch up. Thanks.
It's good to see, mate. If you want to ask anything.
Yeah. Well, I actually wanted to ask about the. Well, we've been talking about the rates, like but I was wondering about the continuing rate. Like, what about the monthly fees? Is this a one-time thing? Like, if we charge like $1,000 or something, is this a one-time fee, or what about the idea of charging monthly fees? Like,
absolutely. I've got that as one of my points on the presentation. I don't even know if we're going to get to the slides because the conversation's flowing here, which I really enjoy. Mate, you have absolutely hit the nail on the head with this, all right? The development of the app itself, first time for the customer, can be your bread and butter money, okay? It can be the pay the bills, can be the make the money, can be the $1,000 hits, all right? Can be coming in, can be, the big spikes in the money. But where you're building a business is that recurring income. And I categorically tell you that if you are simply selling an app to a customer, you are doing the wrong thing by them. Okay, you should be selling them an ongoing service. So it's Mr. Customer, great to see you. The Snack Shack from Troy. We've got a deal, Mr. Customer, and we're going to go ahead, and it's $1,500. And we do charge a $20 a month upkeep fee, which is $240 a year. If you would like to pay that annually, we do knock that down to $199. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a recurring income. Now, how do you set up a recurring income? Because I use the word guarantee a lot because I feel it from my heart, right? Guarantee you don't want to be chasing paperwork, All right, and I also guarantee you that you're shit at accounting. And why? Because only this many people are, right? Really great at accounting. The last thing you want to be doing is keeping track of when's the monthly payment due, how do I get it set up, you know, all that kind of stuff. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a payment button. Now you can do this with JVZoo. I'll do it with you on the call if you want me to. Or there's plenty of tutorials. You can do it with JVZoo. You can do it with ClickBank. You can do it with Zaxa. Zaxa's not a bad option actually because they charge a one-time fee. And you can set up a one-page which sets up the recurring billing, monthly, annual, 2 buttons. Thanks, and just the thing at the top that says, thanks, Mr. Customer, or thanks for joining us and trusting us to look after your app. Please click one of the buttons below, whichever suits you better, $19.95 per month or $199 per year for updates and additions to the app, unlimited. Okay, unlimited. Now you think, oh my God, what if they want everything changed every week? They won't. And the one customer in 100 that does, the other 99 that pay you $20 a month will make up for it. Okay, if you can over the next period of time, so let's say that you get one, and I'm being really conservative here, guys, thinking that everybody's got their own jobs and their own businesses and that kind of stuff. If you can get one deal a week, all right, $1,000, $2,000, so let's say $1,000, one deal a week, $1,000, and then $20 a month as a result. In your first month, you've got $80 recurring. In your second month, you've got $160. In your third month, $240. In your fourth month, $320, all right? And at the end of the year, you've got a couple of $1,000s a month in recurring revenue, all right? Now, you're still going out and you're still getting one app deal a month, But if you've got $2,000 a month coming in before you even start, how much easier does that make life? The recurring income, Rick, is absolutely paramount to building a long-term and sustainable business, okay? And not only that, if you're paying for Zapable monthly and you've got a client who's paying you $20 a month, by the time you get your second client, your whole Zapable thing is paid for, and then after that, it's just profit. If you sell a customer an app as a one-time deal, my feeling is that you're doing the wrong thing by them. Okay, why? Because it's like dropping somebody a wicked piece of software and saying good luck. You know, that it's a scary, scary thing. They want to know that if they want to change something or whatever, all they need to do is call you or email you. And you can have a separate, again, it's so easy to set up. You can have a web page for app modifications, okay? And all they need to do is put in their name, so it's the Snack Shack. My app ID is 12345, which you would give them, and then just a box that says, what do you need done? I need to change my phone number from XYZ to ABC. Thanks very much, Rick. See you later. Click, done. If they've got the monthly or yearly fee with you, then what they get as a result is that link to the app modification screen. Okay. Thank you very much for your monthly payment. Here is our app modification screen and my personal support number. If you need anything, here's how you can get hold of me. And do you know what? That gives people so much security in the purchase that they feel that trust, and you can make that part of your sales presentation. Okay. What about you even do like this? You say you can even go. And again, you can set the payment buttons up to take care of this automatically. You know, we have $19.95 per month on a support, but we do offer the first 3 months included free as part of your app development. So what I'll do is get you to sign up for our support, but your first bill won't kick in until 4 months' time. So you can set up a 3-month trial in any time you set up that payment button. All right. So your payment button, when you go to JVZoo or ClickBank or Zaxa or wherever, it's going to ask you trial. Say yes, 90 days. So then they sign up. You've got the details, and the billing is automatic. Okay. I love Zaxa because I've done a lot of stuff with JVZoo, and I almost feel guilty for going outside of that because they look after me pretty well. But Zaxa, I love Zaxa because they've got integrated with Stripe. And Stripe is credit card payments without needing PayPal. And if you've got a business owner, you can literally pull up, you can walk in with your phone or with your tablet, and you can put the payment button in front of them, and you can take a credit card transaction then and there without any other need for merchant facilities. All right, and Stripe deposit straight into your bank account within 7 days. So I love Zaxa. It's brilliant. JVZoo is fantastic as well, and again, I've done plenty of plenty of volume at JVZoo, but they've only got PayPal at this stage. They do have 2 checkout as well, but it's very difficult to get an account. So Zaxa is a great alternative for getting those payment buttons set up and those recurring stuff. So Rick, does that help with the ongoing payment situation?
Sure.
Yeah, tell me, man.
Yeah. Well, if you've got a number of clients, that probably would be difficult to track whether who's paid for this monthly fee and who's not. And is there a way to somehow automate that? Like if they don't pay, then the service gets cut off. I know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I mean, you know, one of the tough things is going to be what happens if they don't. But what's great about Zaxa, and this is why I'm recommending to set it up with Zaxa or ClickBank or JVZoo or somebody, and you can set up a recurring payment button. You will never have to chase payment. If the payment doesn't go through, it will retry again in 2 days, and then again in 2 days, and then again in 2 days. Okay? So this is all done for you. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, it's trying to get those transactions to go through. Now, if it doesn't go through, or if they cancel it, you get an immediate email, and it says something along the lines of recurring transaction cancelled. You know, it's an email from Zaxa that says recurring transaction cancelled, blah blah blah, and it's got the details, the customer name, or whatever. And you're going to do something very simple. You're going to call up your client, and you're going to say, "Hey, John, I just noticed that the monthly upkeep for the app hasn't been paid. Are we missing something there? Oh, I don't feel like I'm getting value from the upkeep. John, that's fine. Look, I really value you as a customer, and I love having you on board, and thank you so much for your service. Unfortunately, what that means is if you need anything changed on the app, I won't be able to do that for you, or I'll be charging you a one-time fee, which has a lot more cost involved to it. If that's something that you'd like to do, that's fine. I appreciate it. Otherwise, if that's a mistake and it was a wrong credit card or something, see, this happens, the credit card expires, right? And the guy's like, oh my God, my credit card's expired and I forgot to update my monthly service with Rick or Troy or Brett or Steve or any of the guys that are on the call. So you'll get the notification, you'll call them, and 9 times out of 10 it'll be a mistake. So you could just steer them back to the payment button. Hey, that's okay, John, no worries at all. Look, here's the link to the payment button. If you can get that sorted out, I'll put it back on a green light status for you straight away. Okay.
I have
stuff automated. Troy, tell me.
I've owned a web hosting company for 11 years, just a small one. I have like a couple places that they'll forget to make a payment or anything like that, so I'll send them an email. I actually have one that it's family, which is a little bit more difficult to do, but so they haven't paid in a while. So yep. I can go in and I suspend the page. And so they come to me because they have 600 people that look at their site every day, and so they go in there and there's different ways to do it, but unfortunately,
I think most people if they cancel the service with you, what can you do about that? Nothing, because the reality is if they don't want to keep paying you, they're not seeing value. So you could do something so simple to provide them value, and that might be as easy as setting them up on an autoresponder that delivers them news and tips from the neighborhood. If it's local business, it might be just a weekly newsletter that you send them, It's so easy, and you can get that automated, right? You can just copy and paste the feed from the local newspaper or whatever. But if they stop paying you, there's a reason, and the reason is typically that they're not seeing the value. But here's the reality. If they stop paying you, there's a reason, so they don't get the service anymore, okay? And if you take something away from someone, they'll either clamber to get it back, or they'll let it go, and if they let it go, move on. So what if you have 10 clients paying you monthly and one drops off? You've still got 9. Keep going.
Can I comment on that real quick?
Yeah, please do, man.
I think the white label push notification is the perfect feature for that, because you can just change that password.
Exactly.
And they won't have that. I think that's one of the better features to reach out.
I think that's brilliant. And again, to make sure that that's included in the monthly fees is access to your white label push notifications. And if that monthly payment doesn't go through, I'm sorry, Mr. Customer, your push notifications won't work anymore. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. But guys, I hope I'm making the point clear. the beginning of your transaction with a new customer is not a one-time event. You can build up a significant recurring income as a result. Now, hadn't thought about the push notifications, but $20 a month is such nothing for businesses. Okay, you could go something. You could even again take it a couple of different levels. Look, it's $20 a month for service, or it's $29 a month for service and push. Okay, because if there's one thing better than getting $20 a month out of a customer, it's getting 30. Okay, everybody's laughing. I can see it. Man, you do the same amount of work and get more value. You know, you get the same amount of work and build up a better income. If you've got 10 people paying you $30 a month, that is $300 a month before you even start. All right, and by the end of the year, you can have a significant monthly income before you open the door. And that's how fortunes are built, okay? Because you're still going to be going out there working, but now you can be building on a foundation. Go for it, Rick.
Yeah. Speaking of the rates, is there a way we can come up with different rates for different kinds of groups or institutions? Like, for example, if we're talking about a school, there's universities. It's got a big population to it, but there's also smaller schools, and probably. Is there a way we can offer the bigger university at a different rate and the smaller one at a different rate? But
yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to show it in the. Come on, okay.
The answer to that, man, is absolutely. And do you know why? Because it's your business. Okay. So you know, what if you had, and I'm just answering the question with a hypothetical, all right? So if you wanted to have different levels of service, based on what you feel that the customer can afford. That's fair, right? If it's a blue chip company, they can afford $100 a month. So why not charge them $100 a month, right? They're going to be, you know, like Diane said, if I make it too cheap, they're not going to see the value. If you want to have different levels, here's a tip: set up different payment pages, okay? And don't have it as /1, /2, /3. Okay, because if they guess that and they see a different price level, they will be pissed. Okay, but if you set it up with weird names, and I'll give you an example. What if your basic $19.95 a month or $200 a year, you called it Diplomat? And what if $39 a month and $300 a year, you called it Ambassador? And what if $50 a month and $500 a year, you called it President? Okay, they're all good sounding terms, and you can have ricksapps.com/diplomat, all right, and it's a nice thing for them to type in. They feel like they're getting the diplomat service, all right, and they will never guess the presidential service, and they'll never guess the ambassador service. Those are just terms. I've personally used those 3 terms at a project that I was using in the past. That's why they came to me. But what if, don't use gold, silver, bronze, because the people who are bronze feel pissed off, okay? And the people who are gold feel ripped off, and the people who are silver feel like they're not quite there yet. Okay, so use terms, or think of 3 different ways of phrasing it. Maybe you might want to call it national, international, global, worldly, or you know, whatever. I don't know, but think of different names and know them off the top of your head. So when you're talking to a customer, you can say, and what we'll do is we'll get you signed up to our ambassador service. Here's the website. It's whatever, $500. And why are you saying it's $500? Because it's a big university with a big budget. All right. So it's a great question, Rick, and my suggestion is have that stuff prepared. How much does it cost you to set up 20 different payment buttons in Zaxa? Nothing. How much does it cost you to put 20 payment pages on your website? Nothing. Okay? So get that stuff in place. Have it on a little Refidex. You know, have it on your phone. If you've got 10 different payment levels, nothing's going to stop you. So let me just grab the service. It's diplomat.com, right? So, you know, set it up with, that's another part of getting involved with templates. Set everything that you need up early. That's a great question on payment levels. Should everybody be on the same level? That's up to you. It's your business. But if you want to have different levels, which I think is a great idea, have it prepared in the beginning, and that way you're not fumbling when you get to a presentation. You're not trying to come up with an answer on the spot. Have everything ready to rock. It's $100 a month or $750 a year. You know, bang! It's called Presidential Service, and here's the link.
Hey, Walt.
Right.
Can you just give us the link or spell for that one that you just talked about, Zaxa or whatever it is?
ZAXAA.com. ZAXAA.com. Zaxa.com. They charge a one-time cost, and then it's unlimited transaction, which is awesome, because if you've got the recurrings going through, you know, you can just pay once, one time, and you don't have to worry about how many transactions go through. Brilliant service, love it. Okay. All right. Tony's questions here. Sorry, Jason's question. Jason's still on with us. Guys, I'm having trouble with my chat for some reason. If you are sending me chat messages and I'm not responding, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because they're not coming through. And I don't know why that is. But if you are with me and want to ask me a question, click the other link, the one that says join me live, and come on, and you can ask me live. All right, Jason asks, how do we do a step-by-step walkthrough to a developer app, something I can demo to a customer? I'll show you that very quickly because we kind of covered it last week. You can do it as an app or as a demo, as a video. Tony asks, I would love to see how to set up advertising using something like AdMob, which is the mobile advertising from Google, but using Commission Junction or Trade Doubler instead. Tony, I've got bad news for you. That's the first time I'm going to say no, can't be done. I looked into this. There's no functionality to bring those advertising platforms into Zaxa yet. But here's what I do know. Chris and the team at Zaxa are drumming hard to make this the very, very best platform in the world. If you go to them and say, I want to bring in Commission Junction, I want to bring in Trade Doubler, this is how, you know, this is the same links you sent me, which is this is where to access those services. Send those to Chris, because he's the person that can make it happen. So drop in a support ticket on Zapable, and he will go through that with you. Steve, I'm going to cover the Steve's dropped off, but I'll still cover off using the Lead Guys' software, how to do that, and how to post to Facebook. And who asked me this one? How can I get buyers? How can I make money with this service? How can I do that? That's kind of everything that I've been talking about, is how to get buyers. Do you remember last week I talked about just get in the ring? You just got to go and have it. You just got to go and chat. But that brings me to my next point. And I'm just going to go back to my screen share because really I did prepare. So the next one there, I've highlighted it in big letters, testimonials. All right. Now, I heard Chris Record talk about this, and I sent you guys the link. Anybody that bought Zapable 3-way system, I sent you guys the link. You could go and get Chris's training for, I think it was about $25 when I sent it. It went up to about $35, I think. Good value. Chris talked about this, and I loved it. The testimonial method. Okay. Now, so the question was, how do I make money? How do I get clients? How do I do it? Basically. We've given 5 templates. It's education, it's church and charities. I hope you guys liked that video from yesterday. I felt like that was the best one. We gave salons, we gave sporting clubs, and restaurants. So those templates. Now, here's what you can do with those templates. Go and build an app for free, okay, for someone in each one of those niches. Okay? Now, cut that down. If you don't want to do that, go and build 2. Go and build the education one and the church one. Go and build the charity one and the sports one. Go whatever. Go and build apps for free for somebody in your community in exchange for a testimonial from them. Okay? Now, why? Isn't this going to cost me money? Well, no, because you can put them straight on the Platinum service and get $20 a month from them. I'm sure they won't mind. But isn't this going to cost you money? No, it's going to make you a stack. Why? Because first of all, it's going to get you skills. Okay, it's going to get you skills. All right. Jerry said that he was so worried about a particular point that he'd held off from doing anything. So I'm saying go and do something because it will get you skills. Go and build an app for an education center, a university, a school, a training organization. Go and build an app for them. All right. I can categorically guarantee you that there is an education facility somewhere within 100 miles of you. Okay, unless you're living in I don't know, the central part of Antarctica, in which case move. Okay, because you're not going to get enough clients out there. Go and speak to them. Say, hey, how you going? I'm just getting started. We've got an app development company. Is that true? Yes, it's true because you're sitting here, right? go and speak to them and say, look, as part of working in the local community, we want to build up a reputation. We want to get known for our services. I have this app that I'd love to build for you on my cost and my time. In exchange, if we do a good job, to do it to get a testimonial. Would that be something fair? We usually charge $2,000 to build an app, but I'd like to do it for you for free. Who's going to say no? All right. And if they say no, they're not your customer. Go back to them when you've got the testimonial. If they say no, then first of all, you haven't presented it right. Okay. Go and build the app for them. Put it in their hands. Literally put all the modules in play and show them it on a demo video and say, I've built this app for you. I'd love to produce it in exchange for a testimonial. Is that something that you'd be open for? Now, it gets you skills. Go and build 5 apps and get them done. Okay. It gets you skills. In terms of presenting, Troy said that he's actually gone and produced a couple of apps on the phone in demo mode, so you can actually show them the app working. That's brilliant. I love that. If you're not quite at that level, I showed last week on the webinar that you can use programs like Camtasia or Jing or any screen capture. You can go and video the mock-up of the app working. Okay, put their logo in, put their background, and if you look at the sales videos that I've done, the demonstration sales videos, you'll see that I have videoed that app working, and I literally just scroll my mouse over it so it highlights each one of the points on the app, and it looks like a real app, and you can show them on the YouTube video. So you can go and copy that directly from your Zapable dashboard, put it up on YouTube, okay? Take your iPad, your phone, your computer, do it on theirs, show them the video of their app working. That's how to demo it. But go and get testimonial clients. Guys, is that fair? Is that something that you feel like is a good process to go through for people?
Yeah, my wife works for a clear local down the road at a motel, and I'm going to build him a motel app and give it to him for nothing, and he can. But I didn't actually think of testimonial. I was more to do it in case of people he comes in to actually use the app. People who stay there, businesses that stay there, and go, look, you've got this app. Where'd you get it from? And then offer him part commission. If he sells some, I'll give him a little bit of the commission as well.
Beautiful.
As well, but I want to go back a bit on the monthly price. Like I was going to offer the push for 30 days for free.
Yep.
But I'm going to upgrade now to, for example, coupons. Like I'm working with a Salon app at the moment, and we've got to give them coupons. How do they actually get the coupons out to their customers? Well, part of the upgrade service is we give them 4 coupons a month.
Nice.
As part of the deal, plus push.
Absolutely.
You could go $30 a month for that.
Perfect.
And things like that. You know what I mean?
And guys, what's important to know is Steve's there talking about different levels, and Rick said the same about different levels of service. Excuse me. Businesses that we're talking to, you know, even if it's a simple pizza chain or takeaway restaurant, these guys are not dealing in the same things that we are all day, which is the $7 WSO or the new plugin that you can get an unlimited license for $30 for. Okay, these guys deal in putting in a business card order that costs them $700. Okay, or they deal in a phone bill that's $1,000, or they have a wages bill that's $5,000. Okay, when you're talking about businesses in the brick and mortar world, we're not talking about a $37 plugin. Okay, these guys deal in bills and finances and accounts, and $100 a month is not a crazy amount for push notifications, updates, coupons, whatever. All right. So the cost, the price that you can charge for the service depends only on the amount of value that you can build into it. I love it. All right. I think I've kind of covered off all the written questions that I've got coming through, except yours, Steve, which is the Lead Geyser system. Sorry. So Steve asked, as part of the bonuses, you guys, you got access to our Lead Geyser software. Now, there's a lot coming in that program, by the way. I'm spending about 15 grand on redesigning it, and of course you get all the updates as part of that. One of the features in there is that you can search by keyword, search by category, search by, you know, so let's say that we're looking for universities, and I've found 100 universities, and I've got links to their Facebook pages. The very, very, very last thing that I recommend you do is go onto that Facebook page and spam it and say, hi, this is me, this is my number, this is my service, blah. That's the very, very last thing that you should do. Why? Because nobody likes that. That is not the way to win friends and influence people. What you can do on a Facebook page is, hi guys, I'm really interested in your page here and in your university, I'd love to come out and speak to somebody. Is there the right person that I can contact? Ask for permission to contact on a Facebook page. All right, and the same in a message. If you're sending a private message to somebody, because that lead geyser system has emails, all right, and a lot of, I don't know, 10% of people that set up their Facebook page have a connected business email address, and that's where I'm doing a lot of the prospecting. I've got somebody that literally drops in an email to those emails in the niches, and the email says something along the lines of, hi, I came across your Facebook page, and I include the link to their Facebook page. Hi, I came across your Facebook page, and we're an app development company that specializes in this kind of apps. Is there somebody that I could speak to in regards to getting an app built for you guys? Okay, so now out of 100 emails, right, 90 get deleted because they get messages like that all day, every day. You get 3 answers that tell you to go jam it, all right, because they get that all day, every day. And you get 5 or 6 people that'll say, sure, we've been thinking about it. Okay, and I've got my VA answering those emails. And if somebody says, you know, where'd you get my email? Say, oh, it's connected to your Facebook page. I saw it there, and I thought I'd just drop you a line. There's somebody asked me once about that in terms of spam, and I said that's a really inflammatory term, and you need to be careful. Spam is sending unsolicited emails, yes. However, if that email is in what's called the public domain, meaning that you publish that email somewhere, you are then inviting people to email you. If you put your email address on a business card, okay, and somebody sends you an email because they've got your business card, are they spamming you? No. You have advertised your email address and said, please contact me. What is spam? Spam is the illegal use of an email address. That's a private whatever, and there's lots of spam rules and that kind of stuff as well. But if you publicly advertise your email address, for example, on your Facebook page, and then somebody emails you, you can say, I picked up your email address from your Facebook page, okay? Or it's in the yellow pages, or buddy, I saw your ad, or mate, I picked up your business card, okay? If that email address is in the public domain, then they are inviting communication, and there's been many cases where that's when that's been proven. However, again, if people are upset by it, then you want to be able to tell them the last thing that I want is for us to start off on the wrong way. So let me first apologize for communicating with you in this manner. Is there a better way to get you? Right? I've just seen the guys on the call here. I'm repeating myself for people who have come late. If you want to join us on the call, click the button that says join us on the call live, and you can come and have a chat with us. Brett's added some graphics to the site, which is cool. Do you want me to share that, mate? Just nod if you do. Yep. Okay. So Jax Media, which is JAXXMEDIA.com. Brett's added some cool graphics there with what he's doing. Troy's.
I need to fix the load time on the page. Is all.
I'm sure everybody will forgive you for that, mate. There we go. Actually, Rick asked me this question of you last week, Steve, and I forgot to pass on the question. You had a really cool plugin that put the skin around the video, like the phone skin and the computer skin. You had like a really cool plugin that did that. What plugin was that, mate?
It's put on for building mobile websites. So I've actually tried to put my email in the message to Rick, but I don't know how to do this. I'm still learning how to use it.
It's got it there. Email me at. You can see that.
What I'll do is I'll email you the actual plugin. There's a couple of them there. There's 3 of them where they can put all different types of mobile things into it, and you can actually. We're going back to if, like, I'm going to videotape the actual app as I talk. Yep. Then you can put that video actually inside a mobile phone thing around the outside. So when you turn on the video, the app's actually inside a mobile phone demonstration.
And it looks brilliant. It looks and it plays, you know, like a black surround of a phone, and it plays inside the phone, and that's the app, the video of the app from Zapable. It's just a brilliant way to demonstrate the app, you know. And again, based it on a template, you can have a, you know, your app framework set up and just copy and paste the video in and go and show the business owners. Brilliant, mate. If you want to send that, Rick's emailed you, so if you want to flick in that,
anybody else too, I'll send it to you.
Send them to me, mate, and I'll get them out to the list. All right. Okay, guys, I think I've covered off all of the written questions. So we are. Damn, we're already an hour and 15 minutes in. Are you guys keeping up? Are we okay? I've got probably 5 more things to cover with you. So if everybody's okay, let me know that you're okay. Drop it in the chat box and say, I'm okay, well, or I got a fault, I want to go home. I've got thumbs up, so we're away. Fantastic. All right, so let me just I'll keep it on my screen, but I'll just go back to my presentation over here. So I talked a lot about last week about templates. If you build templates, the reason for these 5 templates is, first of all, to get you started. Second of all, to show you how to do this so that you can scale. Why is there no templates for a real estate agent? Well, because I hadn't built one. I built 5. But if you are interested in approaching real estate agents, go and build a template. Okay, go and build a template and go and build a video, because the last thing you want to be doing is trying to create everything from scratch. If you're going to go into a particular niche, do it on a template, and then go, and don't just do it one time. Because honestly, the quickest way to failure, desperation, and poverty is to be doing it one time on a whim. Walking down the street and going, oh, there's a real estate agent, I think I'll go and see them. Okay, so you go and see them, and they say, yes, I'd like to get it done, and you go back to your office and you spend 2.5 hours putting the template together so that you can present it to that one particular client. All right, bad way to go. Better to say, I'm going to focus on real estate agents, or I'm going to focus on sign writers, or I'm going to focus on car dealerships, or whatever it is that I have a lot of in my community. I'm going to focus on these. Let me go and build the template, and then just go bang, 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 and send them an invitation, send them a demo link, send a big lot of invitations to a big group of people in the same niche, because that's the fastest way to profitability. Testimonials, I talked about that. Go and get 5 testimonials. All right, go and get testimonials in the industries that you're going to focus in. Okay, build the apps for free. Absolutely, build them for free. Give it to them, and then even offer them the push notification if there'll be a phone reference for you. So you get monthly push notifications. If you're happy to answer the phone, somebody calls you up and says, hey, I was dealing with Brett. Was a service any good? If you say nice things about me, I'll keep your push notifications going. Everything in business works like that. Another point I wrote there was doing it all. Please don't, unless you are looking to get tired and exhausted. What do I mean by that? I mentioned I've got a person that does my the bulk of my prospecting for me. So we run a software company. That's what I do. And as I sit in my home office, I've got furniture stacked around me because we're about to move house. But as I sit in my home office here, there is one desk in this office. All right, but we have 40 people around the world that do things in our company. All right. Now, you guys may or may not be at that level, but I didn't start there. I started with me. And the very biggest change in my business came when I brought that first person on board. Let me give you a tip about bringing somebody on board. Unless you are already successful, don't employ them. What do I mean by that? Don't put somebody on an employment contract, because unless you are already sustained in business, the last thing you want is an overhead somebody that you have to pay on a monthly basis. It absolutely kills any joy of getting your entrepreneurialism started. What's the alternative? Bringing somebody on as an outsourcer or as a contract worker, whichever terminology suits you better. Now, can you get good people doing work for you, like sending out emails from the Lead Geyser software system for $2 an hour? Yes, you can. Are they what I would recommend? No, they're not. How would you then find the right people? So I'll give you a tip. There's free typing tests, free English competency and literacy tests, and free problem-solving tests that you can access online. Okay. What I would do is very simply put up an ad that says work from home, your own hours, great rates paid, and awards and bonuses. Because if they get 5 deals a week for you, you're going to give them a $100 bonus? Of course you are, right? So however you want to word the ad. And when you get the flood of replies, which you will do, the next thing you do is say, thanks very much. Here's 3 tests that I want you to go through. Please send me the results once you've completed. Okay? And get them to self-test themselves through. What will happen is 50% won't even go through that test. Okay, which eliminates them straight away. The other 50% will go through, and you'll end up with 5 or 10 of those that are decent, and from there you'll be able to choose, get them on Skype and do a phone call. They've already gone through the literacy, the typing, all that kind of stuff. Get them on Skype purely to make sure that they know who you are and you know who they are, and you're literally doing the final step, and outline what you want them to do and the rate. So we might say something like, what I want you to do is 100 emails a day using this software, and answer any of the emails that come through, and communicate with me anybody that seems like a hot lead. I'm happy to pay you $50 a week. or whatever it is, $10 an hour. I would suggest against going on an hourly rate with people that you don't trust. For the first, outline what you want them to do and on a set price per week. 100 emails per day, answering emails as they come in, is $50 per week, and you know, you can do that in 10 minutes a day, or you can do it in 2 hours a day. It's up to you how long it takes. But build trust with that person and then get them onto an hourly rate once you have that trust going on. So my point in the presentation is doing it all. Please don't. When you start, you will feel like you have to. You have to go out, you have to prospect, you have to present, you have to close, you have to build the apps, you have to do all that sort of stuff. As quickly as you can, get the drudge work done by somebody else. And what do I mean by the drudge work? It's the prospecting. It's the bulk approaching to find the 5 clients, okay? Because the bulk approaching costs a lot of time, which you don't have, okay, and doesn't make a lot of money. It's the 5 clients that have expressed interest, have shown that they are willing to talk to somebody. They're the 5 people you can go and see after work on the weekend. You're only then going and seeing 5 rather than going and seeing 100 trying to find that 5. Does that make sense? So try as quickly as you can to get somebody else doing the prospecting for you, however you want to run that. Prospecting can be advertising if you want to go down that path. You can have people placing ads for you, but get the bulk work done by someone else. Right. Rick, your question, can anybody that gets one of these apps only use it if it's connected to the internet? Yes. There's nothing local in the app except... is anything cached? No, I don't think so. I think it's all connectivity, it must be. So you must, for example, if you want to look up the photos, you're looking at photos that are hosted somewhere. So they must have an internet connection to use the app.
Yeah.
Rick, do you want to keep going with that?
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, if I talk to schools, I would have wanted to leverage that and say, hey, instead of you sending hundreds of messages to parents out there, you can just push notifications, and all the parents will just be able to receive that. But it's only if they got Wi-Fi connections, though. So
no, it's not Wi-Fi specifically. Sorry, just to clarify, it's also internet, and most SIM cards, from a service provider will give you.
Or
so
Wi-Fi.
I would say you're 99% covered there, mate. But I'll give Troy's system a plug as well. Troy has a system which is called Text Extreme Pro, which you can go and get hold of and get a developer's license for, and that's another additional service you can offer people. Troy, can you just type in the link where people, I've got my own, but I'll send people to yours, where they can go and buy Text Extreme Pro, they can get the developer's license and offer an SMS service to people as well, and then that's something that you can build into the app. You can build the link to their SMS service into their app, so they can use their SMS service and send out to everybody that's connected. It's a great, and again, that's just an additional service that you can offer people. So Troy's going to drop that in the chat box in a minute, and I'll read it out for you. But yes, all the apps must be connected online. Okay, so the next point on my presentation is, so I've covered doing it all, a plan. Please put one together, and it can be as simple as this, you guys. My plan is simple. I plan to send 100 emails a day, do 2 apps a week, and build this up to 10,000 a month. That is a plan. Okay, it doesn't have to be any more detailed than that. But what's real is if you go ad hoc at anything, you will struggle. But if you make a commitment, and that commitment can be as simple as a plan. On Monday, I send emails. On Tuesday, I do meetings. On Wednesday, I do nothing because I like Game of Thrones. On blah, 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 whatever. Whatever is your plan, but make one. Because if you don't have a plan on how you're going to run this business, you will not have joy in running it. You'll have stress in running it. Make your plan up front, and that way it's very clear to not only to you, but to the people that you love what your commitment is. For example, my wife knows that today is Tuesday, meaning that after lunch, I'm out of the office. I'm with her. Whatever she wants to do, I'm good to go. She doesn't have to think about that because that's my plan, right? So make yours. Make your plan. How often are you going to work it? What kind of targets do you want to set? What minimum expectations do you have of yourself? Okay? My minimum expectations are simple. I will send out 100 emails a week. Okay? That's my minimum expectation, and I will answer those emails in good time, etc., etc. Whatever is your plan, but make one. It will help you be successful. I'm knocking on your camera. Make one. It will help you be successful. Okay? It can be simple. but it's a commitment that you make to yourself on the amount of work that you're willing to do. The next point on my presentation, I wrote dynamic versus static. All right, this is techie. I talk about this in the template videos on the bonus page a little bit. Dynamic versus static. As much as you can, you want to make the information that comes to the apps of your clients, clients, you want to make that automatically update itself. What do I mean by that? If you have to, if they have to contact you to update their website, to update the app, okay, that's a pain, and you cannot grow your business very large. If you use, instead, if you use RSS feeds, okay, so that they can type something on the website and it then dynamically updates to the app, all right, they will be happier and you will have more time. Okay, so whenever you can, build dynamic things into the app instead of static things. Troy's just dropped that link in the chat there, guys. If you want to grab Text Extreme Pro, there's an additional service you can offer to your clients as you're speaking to them. Drop it in on the second month or whatever. Hey, I've got an SMS system for you. The link is textextreme.com/JVZoo-special. Let me do that again. textextreme.com/JVZoo-special. Okay? textextreme.com/JVZoo-special. That will get you the developer's license of Troy's SMS program, which is a great additional service to offer. Okay, dynamic. So make your content dynamic. It will stop you being bogged down with the technical stuff. Okay, and the last point on my notes here was ongoing income, and we talked about that with Rick. I believe strongly that you need to offer the service of an ongoing, and my tip for success there is to put automated payment buttons on a web page somewhere so that the follow-up payments and all that kind of stuff is taken care of and the money just goes in your bank account. All right, as we talked about, you can cancel their push notification service if they stop paying, or you can simply charge them more if they need to change something. So somebody might say, I don't want to keep paying monthly. Okay, well, we do have a yearly option. I don't want to pay yearly either. In fact, I don't want to pay at all. Okay, that's fine. If you need something, you literally have to say that's fine. They're your client, right? Okay, that's fine. Look, I understand. If you need to change anything for you, I will be charging you a one-off service fee, which is a base fee of $199. What if I just need to change my phone number? That's why we have a monthly service, so that you're never out of pocket and you have no hidden surprises. Okay, do the right thing by your client and give them a monthly fee. And the only other thing I've got there, the last slide, is what's next. And I will, yeah, I'll talk about this. I've written on my slide. You guys can't see this. I want to show you because the wording of it is important. All right, I've written there, what's next? The miracle process. Okay, the beginning, something you can do. I listen, as I said, I listen a lot to smart and intelligent people, and one of those that's made a big impact on my life is a guy named Jim Rohn, and he talks about the miracle process, and he goes like this. It says like, so he's quoting the Bible as he's talking, and he's saying, you know, word has it that Jesus was a miracle worker, right? And word has it, you know, I wasn't there, I can't verify, but that's what the book says, right? So word has it he's a miracle worker, which means what? If you come to him with a problem, he is going to say no problem. Now, why can he say that? Because he can do miracles, right? I mean, honestly, if you've got a problem and you've got a guy that can do miracles, then you've got no problem, right? And then Jim Rohn says, you know, it's amazing, I do business with people like that all around the world. And my ears perked up and went, what? He said, I work all day with miracle workers. If you take a problem to them, they will say no problem. Why? Because they will read as many books as they have to solve the problem. They will talk to as many people as they have to solve the problem. They will do anything and everything to solve the problem. So guess what? It is no problem. And that's what I encourage you guys to be, is miracle workers, okay? And he also talks about, in the same training program, which is called The Challenge to Succeed by Jim Rohn, if you want to look it up on Amazon. One of the most powerful 4 CD sets I've ever listened to in my life. I listen to it on a regular basis. He talks about the miracle process. So he says, let's look at something real for us, right? If we got down on the floor right now and did push-ups, and we did as many push-ups as we could, right? There's some of us that can do a lot. There's some of us that can do a few. But let's say that, you know, we drop down on the floor, we do as many as we can, and after 10 push-ups, you're done. That is as many as you can do. And we can tell by looking at your face, that's it. That's as many as you can do. Now, here's what Jim asks. He says, now, is that all you can do? No, because if you rest for a few minutes, you can do 10 more. Okay? And if you rest, you can do 10 more. And if you rest, you can do 12 more. And if you rest, you can do 12 more. And if you rest, you can do 15 more. And if you rest, you can do 18 more. And if you rest, you can do, and you can keep going along that process until you get up to being able to do 50 push-ups. Okay? Now, what's the difference between you only being able to do 10 and suddenly now you're able to do 50? It's a miracle. It's not a miracle. The miracle is that you were willing to do the work in between. Because if you're willing to do the work, the miracle of growth and activity and success will happen for you. Okay? So let's put this in context with our app business. What can you do? You can send an email today to somebody's email address that you find using the Lead Geyser software system. You can do that. Okay? You can do that. You can perhaps make a phone call. Maybe that's too scary. But whatever you can do, here's the secret. Do all you can. Do all you can, because going back to the push-up example, is if you can do 10 and you only do 5, you do not get any stronger. Okay? Does that make sense? If you can do 10 and you only do 5, you don't get any stronger. You don't get your miracle. But if you do all you can do, so if all you can do is send an email, then do all you can do. If all you can do is send an email, go and see somebody, put together a flyer and a video presentation, then do all you can. Because here's the miracle. If you do all you can, you will get stronger and better. Okay? You will experience the miracle that I've experienced in my business. If you do all you can, suddenly you find you can do more. And success comes in a river where before you couldn't turn on a tap. Okay? But that only happens if you are willing to do all that you can. Okay? That's my last point here on our second webinar, is if you do all you can, then the miracle will come. You do what you can and you do all you can and continue, and the miracle of growth and success will follow you. All right. So, guys, how are we going? You guys unmuted. Anything else that we want to add? I'm done. I've covered off lots of different things there. One of the questions was, can you? This is one I forgot. Can you give me a step-by-step walkthrough to getting a developer app, something I can demo to a customer? Jason asked me that. Jason, go through the training videos that are put on the bonus page. What I show you is how to build that template, and then in the webinars we talk about how to video that template so that you can demo that to a customer. I hope that helps. But guys, I've covered everything that I had as notes. Is there anything left that you'd like to ask me? Anybody want to go in through anything?
All right.
We're all good. Everybody's okay. Now, guys, again, if you're watching this and you're not part of our panel, it looks like my chat messages aren't coming through. So I'm going to get lots of messages in a few minutes, I'm sure, that says, "Oh, I can't see. I haven't. Whatever. I didn't get to. I didn't get to see it. I didn't get to ask you the message." If that's you, I'm not ignoring you. Something's up with the chat. So for some reason, it's not coming through. I'm just going to try something here. I've covered everything. I'll mute myself. What I'm doing is I'm logging on as a customer in the chat system and seeing if any of those chat messages magically come through. And if they do, I will be able to answer them. So again, if you're watching this, yeah, there we go. All right. Yep, there's lots of messages there. Something's happened on my chat. So, radio, I'm going. Guys, if you're watching this, it's not that I was ignoring you. Wyatt says, are there any problems with using any site content via RSS feeds from sites you don't own? Yeah, be cautious. I mean, obviously don't steal people's stuff, but you know, places like Amazon or YouTube, they make the RSS available for a reason. Jerry says, I did write in the chat box, I know. Walt, Diane asks, what about direct mail to some of these niches? Absolutely. Why not? It's just like opening another door. Fran says she's published iPad magazines. Awesome. She said, I published iPad magazines for over 18 months and I still don't have an Apple, which is very cool. Pros and cons of hosting apps for your clients. The good news is that Zapable do that, so you don't even have to worry about it. And then it's all just updated through you as a service. Jerry said, hey, Jerry who had the challenge with I don't have a Mac and it's holding him back. Just remember that my son who lives in Tucson has a Mac. I could get on Skype with him and have him do it. Wow, Jerry, there you go. There we go. Okay, I'm going to scroll to more recent questions. I'm concerned, Tony says, I'm concerned that Zapable developers are pricing too low. Me too, Tony, me too. But do you know what? It's your business and your domain and your community. So what's really cool is that the chances of you running into another Zapable developer are really, really slim. Because I think there was like 3,000 people in the whole world that grabbed it. And if there's one in your community, team up with them. But I agree with you. Price it up. Price it up. Don't be doing $200 apps. Be doing $500 apps as a minimum to get you started and very quickly move up to $1,000 apps and $2,000 apps. Do you have to pay for push notifications, Carol? No. Zaxa, Z-A-X-A-A. Okay, direct mail, covered that one. Zaxa, Karina, covered that, Z-A-X-A-A. Rob says, I'm doing that for a local business where I'm giving them the app so we can showcase it to other industries. Perfect. I would never ever do the app for free. I've built you this $2,000 app. All I need is $197 to cover the costs in exchange for 3 referrals and a testimonial. Fran, I love your work. Very cool. This is a great one from Tony. Tony says, I'll start a contest on Facebook. The winner of the contest will get a free app made for them in exchange for video testimonials. Places 2 to 49 will get an app built for them for only $500 plus push recurring per month. I love it. Corinne says, okay, great. Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, guys. I'm sorry again that those chat messages didn't come through, but I kind of got to them there at the end. I wasn't ignoring you. Something I have to sort out here with my new PC, which is always good fun. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. As always, I hope it's been valuable. The link to this replay will be on the same page as the webinar itself. So within about 5 minutes of us finishing, that'll be up and available, and you guys will be able to watch from the beginning. Thank you for your time. I know that this is Monday night, and by my calculations, it's about 9:30 Eastern time. It's 11:30 in the morning here in Australia and wherever else you are in the world. I hope it's been valuable. Again, my commitment to you as somebody who bought Zapable through my link doesn't end with this webinar. If there's something you'd like to know, please ask me. I get a few thousand emails a day, but I will make sure that I get back to you. If you haven't heard back from me in a couple of days, email me again, as Steve does, and says, hey, buddy, what about this one? So just make sure you stay on top of me, because I do get a lot. But I absolutely want to make sure that you guys know my commitment to you doesn't end with this webinar. If you've got something that you'd like to ask me, please do. Remember that the training tutorials in the forum are available to you all, and they are fantastic resources. Jerry, and for everybody else that's watching this replay or this live, do not embrace the fear of doing nothing. All right, go out and embrace the success of having a shot. And remember that this is a 12-month project. You've got 12 months to get your first deal, all right? And then if you go out and chase it hard, you'll be flooded, and do all that you can do. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you being with me, the guys on the panel, and I look forward to hearing from you and hearing of your successes as time goes by. Thanks again, guys. Great to see you.